In terms of what's next in AI for us, I think that we are working on a lot of new things. Uh, some, most of them are, like related to the core infrastructure of how we want to handle AI for us. Uh, One of them is an enterprise-based OCR module. So like you saw in onboarding, form IQ, we are ingesting a lot of documents. So we wanted to create a module where we can enhance those documents before we even parse it through AI models. We can like let's say in a handwritten document, we can analyze, break down the image into multiple sections, enhance the uh, handwritings, and then read the document for a much better recognition confidence scores, and so on. So that's one of the things that we're working. A big thing that we are working on is a quant-based knowledge layer that sits between all the AI features and a frontier model. That's the quant knowledge base and the quant AI layer. That acts as sort of like a construction savvy layer that shows can interact with all the quant features, that has all the quant glossary, that has all the construction glossary, understand what the worker names mean, understand the location names of a project. So like let's say if I add a form IQ, I add a JHA and it has a location mentioned, it can go look through that database, identify the location, tag the correct location and show that this JHA relates to that location. Or if someone is fills out a form IQ, mentions six name of the workers, the names are written in handwriting, but it does mention the name of the company, it can scan, analyze, and provide those key insights. Also act as a way to, like, if I go and select that in future, like let's say if I go and select a JH and I mention this relates to this PTA, it can go and automatically fill out the condition that needs to be there. So there are a lot of new use cases we want to experiment with the quant knowledge base, and it also acts as a layer of like even with Bob, when you're asking some question, it already understands the construction vocabulary, it pre-understands your data, like which companies are working, what's the pattern they are showing in their project, and in future it can allow you to compare between projects. So like if have a data center, I know how this colo happened. Can I compare it to my next co-location center, and so on. So that's one of the big things that we are working on right now. Um, we're also adding some enhancements like feedback and human in the loop layer for Bob and for MyQ both. So we can gather more feedback and we can train the models can learn and understand how it can improve what the what the user actually means and so on. Um, in terms of like hardware related on the ground updates, we are working on some of the BLE based sensors that will allow us for much faster data collection improvement. We are working with Z9 on for integration, Z9, Genetic, and some of the like access control integrators. Uh, we are like I think the next big update that's coming out for us was the Quant version 2. It's a version 2 sensor of the Quant. I think after we have upgraded the software side of Quant, this was a thing that we wanted to work on. Now we have the time and bandwidth, and we are working on a newer version of the Quant sensor. And has got much better battery performance, scanning capabilities, allows you to remotely switch between an real-time versus a standard time sensor. It has GPS, can be used to see where the sensor has been last seen if a sensor gets misplaced. Um, can do SOS and all the other standard features, but along with that allows you to remotely manage your fleet and so on. So that's something coming out. We are testing it with a few customers. It's already been rolled out at some of the job sites, and hopefully this will become our standard sensor uh, in future, like in the next quarter onwards, moving forward. If you look at the road ahead, I think we have made some progress. We are working with W2W on some of the insurance related products. Uh, Quant V2 I already mentioned. We are working on shift-based reporting, how we can use the data to, and like a vector-based system, like one other customer pointed out, how we can use our data, our sensor data to do shifts. We are working on a much more robust enterprise module that can make company as a standard entity throughout our database. We are working with Genetech on integrating with Genetech, Periweather, Z9, Power BI. These are some of the new integrations that are coming out pretty soon. Um, AI related enterprise-based OCR module, Kwant Knowledge Base, having human in the loop, further advancements on the Kwant Mobile App. They're also exploring integrations with Trimble's project site.
Are you
Yeah,
noticing that integrations are becoming a little easier now that everyone is really focusing on AI? And
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, it's sort of like everyone wants the data and different kind
yeah,
of product suits. Everyone is providing their own AI layer. So kind of
interesting.
becomes like how you integrate better with some of those applications.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to something interesting that right now it's just a race to get as much data as possible because the software side of things is just, you could whip up something quick and then you just need to feed some data to it. And then other platforms have the data you need. So the integration is essential, right? But then
Yeah,
it's going to get to a point where I think hardware is going to be extremely important. And that's where some of our advancements in hardware that we'll probably talk about during the next quarterly product update really come into play. Just the cleanliness that it's going to provide our data that we're capturing and some of the advancements that it's going to give us on these complex job sites that we didn't previously have, and really no one has.
yeah. No, definitely. Like I think for us, hardware has been a major thing. It allows us to capture data in remote locations on job sites. So, like I think hopefully version 2 of the Quant help improve some of those things, right? I think that's it on this quarter's updates. Hopefully, next quarter would be bigger and much better than this.
Of course, nowhere to go but up, right? Just got
Yeah.
to keep building. Cool. All right. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, hope everyone enjoyed it, and you can reach out anytime.
Thank you, John.